Hello YouTube, it is Chris here, and in today's episode I'm going to show you my 750-piece survival fire kit. Stick with me. Welcome back everybody, and thank you for sticking with me. So yeah, you heard right, my 750-piece fire kit. Now after we go through this kit, I actually need you guys to stay tuned because we're going to be showing you 3 to 4 additional kits that you can look at to give you some awesome ideas for your fire kit. Before we dive into this, some people might go, Chris, why the heck do you need a separate fire kit? And there are a few people out there that subscribe to they need a knife and a fire steel and they are good to go. They will use the tinder around them, and in certain environments that works extremely well. That is actually ferociously effective. But in certain climates, or for certain people who are organization freaks and want everything compartmentalized from first aid, clothing, their shelter, fire, they want everything compartmentalized and organized, this is an awesome little kit to put together that will give you years and years worth of fire starting that you could easily throw in your survival bag. Alright, so opening this bad boy up, you see that it actually looks very familiar because we base it off the Maxpedition Fatty Organizer. You can use any organizer you want. This is purely designed to show you what we put in our kit, why we put it in our kit, and also just to give you some fun, helpful ideas. We'll start from this side over. We've got the Nano Spark. This is the Tec Nano Spark. This is an amazing spark wheel. This is just to give you different various types of fire starting. You always want several methods. This actually has fat packs in it, but you could put the fire strip roll, Tinder quicks in it. It's really nothing you can't put in this thing. Then this is my favorite little striker. This is an 8-sided ferro rod striker. It works really well. It'll catch sparks really awesome. Now some people use the spine of their knife, but if you want to save that for various things or not damage your knife unnecessarily, this is a really good striker to have. This actually came from Zombie Tender's ferro rod V3. I don't like their kits. I think their kits are ferociously expensive, but they got the fire still right, so I took the scraper and saved that. Then we've got my Vic Lighter. You can use any lighter you want. You can usually get about, 1,000 clicks or so with these. Then we've got my fire steel. This is my extreme weather fire starter from 4 Directions Bushcraft. This bad boy's got a really high gobbing spark, ferrocerium, magnesium. We fully tested this in my video, so all you gotta do is check out extreme weather fire starter. And we've got a fat wood handle. So this pretty much is the triple threat, and if you want to go super minimalist, this will definitely do it. Forward, we've got the cold steel Pocket Bushman. For $34, this is my favorite knife on the planet because it's extremely strong lock. This is used to CTS BD1. The newer model is rocking German 4116 stainless steel, but it's got a really good edge, but it's not too hard to resharpen. And with some of the other items we have in this kit, we'll explain why field sharpening will be a breeze. But as we dive deep in here, these are 2 of those 88 cents in a 5-pack meatloaf tinfoil pans. You can use this to boil water if you need to. We have a stove in this kit still, which is pretty freaking awesome. And I figured in a fire kit, being able to boil water, cook food, is kind of just makes it complete. Then to keep my knife sharp, an additional method of fire starting, we have carbide teeth ceramic rods for any other blades or serrations you might use. We've got a diamond rod here. This also comes with a whistle, a little tiny rinky-dink flashlight that kind of works. It technically turns on, but it's not super bright. Then we got another ferro rod built inside. So now we move to the kind of, I would say, the big, humongous meat and potatoes. Now, as this stands right here, this is more than enough. But this is kind of like a long-term thing. This is something I would put in an inch bag, your bug out bag, whatever you choose to call your survival bag. These are the types of things I would put in there because when you break everything down, you just get a ferocious amount of tinder. So the first thing up is in the middle. This is the Gen 2 FatRope stick by Production Hanger 51. And this is why I particularly chose this. Some people look at this, they see it's an $8 tender, and they're like, that's outrageous, that is so much money, I could just do this, and that's fine. I don't care. You do you. But I'm going to show you why I kind of break it down mathematically, why I can make this make sense to me. So once you cut this thing into 2-inch strips, you actually break these main braids apart, and you get 9 of these. This is how it's broken down when it's all comes said and done. And then this little strand right here will break into 10 individual little sticks, which come into something like this. That is actually more than enough to get a fire started. So you'll be able to get 90 fires out of this little bad boy. And because it's wax infused with some other really cool properties, you'll end up with this type of tinder once you fluff it up. And this will catch a spark really well. It lights up like a freaking dream. It just makes sense not to keep something that convenient in your kit. We've got the ultimate fire tinder. I actually made my own tin for this because the tins they give you are humongous. They actually take a full stick and they stick the whole tinder inside and break it down. But I went through, this is the Gen 3 fire tinder. And this gives you everything you need. This will give you 20 to 30, even 40 fires if you segment it out. And the fact that it catches so well, it's impervious to water. It will work in wet, cold, crappy conditions. That's why I like it, because the guy who makes this is in Canada. So he has the distinct privilege to test this in some of the craziest, coldest, wettest environments you could possibly hope for. So for anybody who's asking, they're like, Chris, why do you got this and then you have the stick? Well, here's the deal. This is kind of going to be like my short-term system. This is when I first get to camp or I first get somewhere and I want to waste as little time as possible. I can go ahead and use the tinder. Just kind of fluff it up. It's already pre-ready to go for me. So for the first week or two, I've already have everything I need and I just splay it out, light a fire, and I'm good to go. So next we've got the Silky Pocket Boy. I love this thing. This thing is absolutely amazing. You get a 5.5 inch saw and you get a full grip handle, but as we could tell from like a 2, 3, 4, even 5 inch branch, this thing will rip right through it. And for anything like a more substantial fire, being able to process wood better and more efficiently instead of using something like just a knife, or actually building a shelter if you find yourself in an SHTF situation, this thing has your back. And for this guy being so small, and the fact that it fits in this freaking kit, 100% worth it. In this front section is the fire strip roll. Mine's a little smooshed, but it's okay, it's still good to go. This is a brand new product from Production Anger 51. For anybody who follows Canadian Prepper's channel, who also follows my channel, you've seen that actual individual review yesterday. Now there's a few things that I want to cover that he didn't do. Is a full roll, once you break it down, is actually 54 feet long. And we went ahead and actually measured that, and that is a substantial amount of fire tinder. Now here in the US, these will sell for $7.50. Now when I break that down for one little roll, my brain automatically defaults to go, man, that's really expensive for tinder. But me, being me and the mad scientist I am, and actually found out just a simple 1.5 to 2 inch strip was more than enough to light a fire. Whether you're going to be using a lighter, you're going to be using a match, you're going to be using a spark wheel or a ferro rod, and they all light. This is a waterproof tinder. I was actually break this up in 2 inch strips for a full 54-foot roll, and I was actually able to break this thing down into 324. Yeah. You're listening to that right. 324! I'm gonna Billy Mays on you. 324 pieces of tinder. Now you could choose to put this in your kit or a bug out bag over this if you want to go ahead and have it preemptively ready. But I wanted to show you how much space this doesn't take, how efficient it is, and the fact that you get so much for so little. And I think it's honestly, this ends up being one of the best fire tinders they've got on the market. Now, there's almost nothing you can't do with this particular setup. So let's say you were hypothermic because you just got out of the water and you're desperate for a fire, you don't have one going. This is probably going to be one of the fastest methods. You can just rip off a bunch of this, take 2, 3, 4, 5 feet of it, and light this bad boy on fire, get yourself under something like an emergency blanket. And this tinder is substantial enough. If you don't have time to grab this tinder, you don't have time to build a real fire, this will last long enough and give you such large of a size of an inferno to literally save your life. And that's why it's definitely going to be in my survival bag. It's definitely coming with me on this special challenge that we're going to be doing in November that we're going to release to you guys in a couple weeks. And it's also in my fire kit. This is amazing. As used carsman sales pitchy as that just sounded, it just works. And I'm hoping the overlay footage that I'm showing you kind of just proves the point that there are just a variety of different crazy ways you can use this. If you want to build a really crazy huge candle, if you want to use this as a torch and head to the end of the stick and go through somewhere at night, if you have all your batteries die, there's just a ferocious amount of versatility built inside this roll. So down in here, I told you I had something extra. This is the Fire Ant by Emberlit Stoves. Titanium. This is a 2-ounce stove that can go with my pot. So if you have a pot with you, you can use it. If you want to put something a little more substantial, you want to put more of these in there. I've got 2 of them. Now this isn't for me like a survival kit. This is a fire kit, but it's completely set up and complete with backup systems if I need it. So having a stove this small and compact that will work in a pinch, it could fit Why not? This breaks down the full kit as you guys see, but as promised, like I said, stick with me and I'm gonna show you 3 awesome alternatives if something this big and robust just isn't your speed. Little EDC roll. This is the Tactical 10 by Maxpedition. I even have a tech clip right here. But let's say you like organization, you thrive off that, but you know, like I said, that full kit is not your speed, but you want similar functionality. So we're able to put a full fire strip roll in here. This is freaking amazing. I got a full fire strip roll in here. Then I got a bunch of goodies. So right in here, like I said, you can put whatever you want. I have some waxwood stick. This is a custom built piece by Production Anger 51. I've got the Nano Striker XL by Exotac. We also have the Nano Spark. I've got a Vic Lighter. This is a waterproof lighter, so it'll work with me in a pinch. I've got another fire steel that has an emergency whistle on it, because obviously if I'm using this stuff, I'm probably going to be in some form of peril. So having any types of signaling device is not a dumb idea. We have a Tinder zip on this side, and then we've got the Leatherman Skeletal knife, and this knife is super sharp. Got a 90-degree spine on it, and for like 25 bucks, it's awesome. If you're looking for minimalism, less weight, and obviously lower cost, this is also a good option. So I've got 2 final kits here for, like I said, if your budget is even smaller, we like to take care of everybody. So this is actually the mini Fire Boss kit by Stanford Outdoor Supply. You get a fire steel, you get some tinder tabs, you've got some magnesium tablets, and we've actually tested and reviewed this as well. For like $10 to $13, this is an absolutely amazing comprehensive kit, especially for beginners. Let's say you have a full-on super fire kit like my Maxpedition case is, and you want to teach your kids get into it, but you don't want to spend a lot of money. This is a perfect way to teach your kids or loved ones about fire starting. And then this one is from my buddies over at Texas Mini Heat. They are a Texas-based company. They do all the stuff themselves. They forge their own knives. Yeah, they actually custom forge these little cute, adorable freaking knives that are actually really freaking sharp. I'm pretty sure they're made out of farrier's rasps, but they actually hook you up with a fire steel, some char cloth, jute, some steel wool, some gelled cotton, and a bunch of freaking fat wood. And for another little kit that has a custom knife built inside so you can take care of a little bit of business, it's freaking awesome. Well, that just about does it for this particular episode. You got to see my full 750 piece fire kit. We showed you some budget friendly and more compact options. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely give this video a big thumbs up and share this out with your friends and family in your social media networks so we keep growing, thriving, and making awesome videos for you guys. But that just about does it for now. Hope you guys have a